It's September 26, 2025, and look, it's blooming. And in case you haven't identified this yet, it's a yucca. And yucca is supposed to bloom in the spring. And I can prove it's fall. I can prove it. You got the oak out back, and you've got the acorns falling. So why is it blooming? And by the way, it's the first time it's ever bloomed. So let's get to it. Hi, I'm Ann. This beautiful plant is a Yucca gloriosa, and it's indigenous to the southwest of the United States, although I suspect they have some in Australia too. But it also likes sandy soil, so it will grow on the southeast coast, and that's where we are. Although this one, if you notice, is a potted plant. So that makes this a little more unusual that it blossomed. Yucca, especially Spanish dagger, like full sun. But I gotta be honest with you, this plant does not get full sun all day long. It receives the morning sun, no afternoon sun pretty much, and a little evening sun. And I've left it here despite that because it likes it. So with your yucca, experiment and find a place where your yucca seems to like and leave it alone. That's what I did with this one. Yucca can survive on little water. And I very rarely water this. When I do, I just soak it really good, then leave it alone for 2 weeks, sometimes 3. And I pretty much don't water. If you want to know the truth, I let Mother Nature do the watering. And that seems to work out for it. Spanish dagger are very slow growing. They only grow about 6 to 12 inches a year. Here's what this Spanish dagger looked like when I first was transplanting it out of the nursery pot. You can see that, it's just a little girl. You can see me holding it, and I thought it was a beautiful plant then. I didn't realize it would get this big, frankly. And a Spanish dagger, as this one probably did, only grows 6 to 12 inches a year. This Spanish dagger I received in 2019, I think, from a nursery, and I, for the love of me, cannot remember the nursery. It was healthy. It was a little banged up from the shipping, but it was a healthy plant. And I just stuck it in a pot and transplanted it to bigger pots over the years, and this is the result. This gloriosa happens to be variegated, and you can see the color, the striped color in it. It's kind of a cream on the outside and a greenish color on the inside, which is the opposite of a color guard. I've seen pictures on the internet where color guard and Spanish daggers are misidentified. It'll say a color guard when it's actually a Spanish dagger. So just look for the coloring. The shape of the leaf is another giveaway. This shape is like it's a dagger, like it's called. It's a Spanish dagger. It's a leathery feel, and it's very stiff, if you see. But this is what's poignant, literally. These leaves are sharp. Watch this. If you run into that, and I have run into this before because of where it's located, not the best place, but it likes it, so I leave it there. It's gonna draw blood, and it's drawn blood on me a couple times. When the gloriosa Spanish dagger is mature, it's capable of flowering. And I walked out on my deck about 2 weeks ago and saw the stalk or spire having buds all over it. And I was shocked. It had never blossomed before. In fact, I have yucca all over this yard in pots, and none of them have blossomed. What I did was I came out every morning and sometimes evening and took a picture. So you can see the transgression as the panicles came out. And it was interesting because it was very slow. I mean, this whole process took, I don't know, it's still going on. You can see up here, we still have some that are not fully bloomed yet. I love the blooms. I love them. They remind me of Christmas bulbs because they're round and they're open. And I don't know if there's yucca moths inside. I would think it would be cool if there are, but I don't know if they get this far north. Now you often see yucca, Spanish dagger, growing in the wild, or people plant them in their yard and they blossom. It's unusual, and if you've had this happen to you, please let me know in the comments. It's unusual to have a large stalk or spire bloom in a pot. So I'm going to go through some steps and some things you can do to encourage your Yucca gloriosa to bloom. First, choose a very heavy pot because it needs stability. You can see this is already leaning. It's so heavy, top heavy. But this pot that I have it in, I don't know if you can completely see it. It's blue and it's ceramic. So between the heaviness of the pot and the soil in it, it's a stable place for the plant to be. Next, the soil. I mix my own soil, and it's pretty much I take good soil and I mess it up using different things, and I'll go into that in another video, how I mix my soil and different soils you can use for your potted plants, your potted yucca. But yeah, you need to have soil that has very good drainage. Water. Obviously you need water at some point, but don't drown it. You water this plant every other day or once a week, and you're going to drown those roots. They don't like that. They need to completely dry out and then be thoroughly watered. And that's why I just leave them alone. I let Mother Nature, as I mentioned earlier, water them. And with this circumstance, we had not had rain for about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. And when the stalk came up, I thought, I'm going to give it a good dousing because it might need the extra energy. So we watered it really well at that point and left it alone. We haven't watered it since, and that's been about 1.5 weeks. So it's doing well without it. Ensure you repot it when it outgrows its pot. Now, yucca like to be snug. They don't want a big loosey-goosey pot. They like snugness, but you don't want them root bound. I've repotted this plant, I want to say a couple times. You remember the first picture I showed you, it was a small pot. It was a small plant. And it was interesting, I didn't notice the variegated leaves at that point. They kind of popped up later. I guess that was just the nature of the plant. I don't think we did anything to help it, but it was a pretty cool surprise. If you can't get a ceramic pot too heavy for you, secure the pot. Like we have other pots secured to the railing, and that way you'll stabilize it and it won't tip over. And just use heavy wire to do that, and that should do the trick for you. So why did it bloom in the fall? I really don't know. My theory is we've had a really hot fall, and maybe I thought it was spring. Regardless, I'm thrilled. I'm glad I shared it with you. And that's my beautiful Yucca gloriosa Spanish dagger. If you want more information on yucca, check out my website, luvayucca.com. Until next time, take care and enjoy your yucca.